Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another cast here, brought to you by Super Carry, at least the VOD. Obviously, I'm Ash and Gigi. And today we're going to be spectating a Korean YONE who is going to build a very interesting type of build here. That is exactly why we are watching this replay. Promised you earlier, and I am delivering. So, if you have any more questions or anything that you want me to cast, any champions, any builds, throw those into the comments. I will be happy to cast whatever you want me to. Alright, as Azir is going to be fighting against this YONE. In the jungle for Azir, there is going to be a Talia, which puts YONE at a double magic resist path already, with Ezreal and Pyke. A little bit of a comp that, I mean, they don't work super well together on the lane, but they do work pretty well together, with Pyke roaming 24/7 and Ezreal just being able to avoid ganks, dives. However, we have one of the stronger divers here with Nautilus and Kai'Sa for the enemy bot lane. And then for YONE in the jungle, we have a Kindred paired up with a Sejuani in the top lane and a Gangplank. Almost called him Graves. A Gangplank for the blue team. Alright, so the early lane as YONE is very reliant on you preserving a lot of HP, so you can eventually hit that mid game with a decent amount of items, and you can get your Vamp Scepter as quickly as possible, because once you hit the point where Azir can't really trade you reliably anymore, you're just going to jump in, you heal up, right? You go into your E, you trade, jump in, you jump back to the minions, you heal up, and Azir is sat there, having traded evenly with you on damage maximum, right? If not even lost. And you just repeat that and slowly win the game. So here, this Azir is making a really, really good play of walking into the YONE E, right? Letting YONE do his thing, do his fiesta, and then he just walks to the W and hits him with, this time it was only one auto attack unfortunately, but beautiful QW here, going to deal a lot of damage. But this Azir he is low on mana now. Now Azir is going Doran's Ring here, which also is a little bit of a questionable choice, because Doran's Ring can be great, but versus YONE, you are not expected that you will stay full HP for a long time, as Kindred not going to try to take down the Azir. Yeah, Talia quite good against the YONE as well as the Kindred, as Flash for Flash is traded, as Kindred threatens to take down the Talia, but will not be able to. Talia with her Dark Harvest, I think, did profit once. And this freaking YONE is just such a greedy boy. Alright. The Pyke. Whenever I see a Pyke on the bottom lane, I hate to do extended skirmishes, because it usually means he's going to show up earlier or later. One point in time. What a beautiful, or what a cute Talia skin, actually. With that cat, what a beautiful W ability she has. We're going to be farming those minions, going to be pushing in another wave, and then recall as well. Again, right? For YONE in this matchup, the Vamp Scepter is the shit, right? That is what you want, that is what makes you happy. As we could Q into buffer recall, yeah, that's exactly what he does. To buff recall, and he is going to be retreating back to his base. He's been doing a super solid job with keeping up in farm, but he is not going for a Vamp Scepter. Let's see. So he had 900. He did have enough for a Vamp Scepter, but he elects to go for boots and double daggers, which all the replays I've seen of people like Faker playing this or Chovy playing this matchup, they try to rush Vamp Scepter to the point where they literally they don't have it, right? So they literally just buy a longsword. They don't buy double longsword, they literally just buy one longsword, push out another wave to get it, and then actually get the Vamp Scepter, and then they can play the game. But so far, it's working out very well here. Yeah, beautiful dodge here, but still Dark Harvest going over to Talia, which is exactly what she wants. 2-0. This Talia is going to be a little bit of a menace, but obviously this is also rewarding the YONE, so far at least. It's going to reward the YONE for building MR as quickly as possible. You don't have enough range to chase him down there. It's Nautilus is going to help out with pushing this wave a little bit, but I don't think that is going to be fully possible. And now he kind of just took his XP, which doesn't end up mattering a lot, but it is still unfortunate, as Azir has to watch out here, yeah. He does watch out though. Pyke looking for a kill, but this is only amount to a kill on to the Nautilus. Unless we make a really big mistake here. I don't think a dive is happening, as obviously this jungler is not the strongest at diving, as Pyke is looking. Pyke going to miss his E, miss his flash, as yes. Oh, beautiful YONE ultimate actually is going to take down the Pyke. Kai'Sa unfortunately not going to be able to pick up the kill unless she magically strikes level 6 here. Please tell me she's going to be able to know. So maybe she can snipe something with her W, but yeah, at least an assist goes over to her for that jungle kill. But that is such an unfortunate situation for the Kai'Sa, as YONE is going to catch the wave in the bottom lane here. Very, very standard rotation, right? If the mid laner, if you're bot laner, the mid laner rotated to your lane, helped you push out. You can, if you got to recall way before him, right, you can just run into the middle, take a wave, and then swap back with him. Very, very solid laning. And this Ezreal, you are in trouble only. This Ezreal exhaust is going to go down, but it is not going to be enough, and a kill is picked up here by the YONE. Beautiful job. 2-1-0. Also very, very well done in the situation before. It was a ridiculous, difficult situation. I looked at YONE as already being way dead, but he managed to finesse a kill onto the Pyke out of that situation, also guaranteeing his team almost a double kill, but what ended up to be only one kill. And obviously the flash onto who was it? Onto the Azir, I think, yeah. So yeah, absolutely well done so far. Good rotations as well, and it seems like, you know, we're kind of content with swapping at this point. At least that's what it seems like to me. Obviously, YONE loves to be in the side lane. Well, Ezreal isn't. Ezreal is not content, yeah. So the swap is going to occur. The swap back, at least, is going to occur again. YONE doesn't feel so good in the side lane at this point, but now we have Berserker Greaves and we are going for Blade of the Ruined King. Blade of the Ruined King is obviously great and gives you that healing that you really need, and also gives you attack speed. Basically gives you all you want, your percent damage and stuff. You don't get crit, and you would think that is a big issue, but it ends up not amounting to any problem at all, as a lot of Qs were missed there, and that was a rather unfortunate situation. Again, YONE needs to be very careful here, right? He can cover, but he needs to be very careful with alerting people to his jungler's presence, as his jungler will be taking down the Herald for herself, I believe, yes. And we have a little bit of a dive coming on to the Gangplank. Gangplank going to flash out, but I think he's probably going to go down to the Lamb, yes. Taken down, and those who run for too long will be hunted down by the wolf as well. I'm sure wolf came into use there. Got a little bit of, what was it? A couple of bits stuck between his fangs. Stuck of them between his fangs. Gangplank. 0 and 3. Bit unfortunate. Obviously, playing versus something like the Sejuani, I absolutely despise Sejuani as she's so tanky, and it just feels so wrong that she is able to 1v1 so many champions. But me, as a Kiana enjoyer, obviously feels really, really salty about most of the tanks that are currently in the meta, be it the Maokai or be it the Sejuani. Yeah, it's kind of rough. But what do, right? So, YONE going to recall. He has 150 gold shutdown. He is doing a solid job, but this Azir is looking to be quite the opposition here. He has his crown, which it puts Azir into this weird situation where yes, Azir is great versus YONE with a crown, right? Because that means that YONE basically has to wait 13 seconds. So he generally has to spend about like 20 to 40 seconds trying to actually get a trait onto the Azir. And that is easily 2 to 3 waves that Azir can push into the side lane. He's never going to use the crown versus the GP. Doesn't really use this versus the Talia, right? Well, I guess it's pretty good versus Talia, actually. It will block, I think, 2 of Talia's volleys. But absolutely useless against the Kai'Sa. If she manages to... why did I say Talia? Talia's on the enemy team. But yeah. So, generally, I mean, I think the crown is great here, but crown does reduce your damage output by quite a bit. Azir still has more damage in his team and in his kit than some other mages. So, for example, on Victor, right? Victor is much more reliant on damage items than Azir is, weirdly enough. As Azir, he will still be able to deal damage in a really good fight for him with Crown. As Victor takes bigger hits from that. As Victor is a little bit more of a sitting duck, and if he's not able to deal a lot of damage to deter people from staying on top of him, then a lot of times he will lose. As we're jumping over and challenging this Gangplank. Gangplank obviously absolutely far behind. As another Q comes over, the R is going to be missed, and this GP is now looking for a solo kill. But we are going to get out of his ultimate, still going down to the Ignite and the passive, unfortunately. And while pushing in the wave, we kind of did hurt ourselves here as the YONE. As the Sejuani in a little bit of trouble. Kai'Sa can't help. Oh, the ultimate is going to be missed, but Ezreal takes down. Yeah, Ezreal takes down not only the Sejuani, which I wanted to call the jungler, but she's actually the top laner. Not only the Sejuani with his ultimate, but also the Kai'Sa. That is an absolutely huge situation for the Ezreal to be in. And Divine Sundra also puts him at a very, very tanky spot. And generally, the blue side team is a very, very defensive, lane control, pokey team, which synergizes decently well together with each other. Not necessarily Pyke, but the way Graves sets up his barrels, merges the terrain, right? Talia does a similar thing. And then Azir and Ezreal do a similar thing as they try to poke, right? That's definitely going to be a little bit more difficult. Now, YONE and Sejuani together work incredibly well at diving. The back of the team comps. So if there is a Sejuani ultimate that is able to be followed up with YONE, whoever that hit is most likely going to die. But all in all, there's a good chance here for the blue team to just punch out of range. As we're looking for a pickup onto the Pyke. Have to flash out here, as Pyke is going to be looking for a pull here over the wall, so I would be careful with this. But out of this little catch, there has been a full fight that has escalated, and yeah, this is a kill onto the Sejuani. Again, picked up by the Ezreal as well, which it just doesn't get better, does it? as YONE is going to move in and look for some dirty farm here. Look for some, well, actually counter jungling in his case. And are we just going to take the dragon? We are just going to take the dragon. 5-2-0 YONE. He has Blade of the Rune King available, so he probably heals more from the dragon than the dragon will deal damage. As now that Kindred has finally started doing it, he's rolling his eyes and moving into the side lane saying, finally dude, it took you long enough. So dragon picked up here for the red team. Great situation, right? Delays the enemy soul by quite a bit, and since the enemy team is currently in the driver's seat of this game, definitely a good situation to be in. But don't get me wrong, like once we get to a couple of items, this YONE is going to be ridiculously scary. Kai'Sa's build seems a little unoptimized to me, given the fact that she has 183 stacks on her, which is not Muramana yet, right? So, yeah, not optimal, but we'll see what exactly. Oh! Well, would you look at that? What is this item? We have Cinder Crystal, right? I think that's the name. I think so. Picked up. So that means that we are going to go into one of the tank items, right? This is going to be interesting. Very spicy YONE build, obviously not the crit build that we are all so used to. We already have a very high damage jungler as well here, right? We have a Kindred that is already pretty strong. And going into these fights is going to be difficult as YONE because you're just taking so much damage by just walking in there. Alright, beautiful arc does connect, but the Kindred ult grants immunity, but this is a pickup of a kill, at least onto the Taliyah. Are we going to be able to pick up? Yes, we are able to pick up the Gangplank as well. Pyke has died earlier as the Azir ultimate not quite good enough, and a very solid job here by YONE going to be able to pick up a kill onto the Ezreal as well. And beautiful flash there by Kindred, saving herself from the Azir ult, and that creates quite the situation now. You saw how quickly YONE was able to proc Sejuani's stun there, resulting in a dead Azir in second. So very, very good job. And obviously very strong comp as well. YONE going to be moving into the enemy jungle and picking up some farm. That is obviously what you want to do, right? If you play that Irelia, if you play that Yasuo, that YONE, that's just what these champions are ridiculously good at. And in my opinion, is actually something that makes these champions a little bit stronger than some other champions that also scale very well but are just not able to farm camps like this. Try to kill this Azir. I dare you. This guy, obviously, he has a crown, so it's going to be very difficult to catch him off guard. We have to manage to deal a little bit of damage to him as we are diving him down. And Azir is going to flash and going to pick up a kill onto the YONE here. And that is exactly what happens with the crown, is the crown just gives you that little bit more breathing room. As a Frostfire Gauntlet is picked up here by our protagonist, the nameless YONE player. I mean, he obviously has a name, but I can't pronounce this, so I shall call him Nameless, because that is apparently how Westerners do it, right? That is just apparently how we roll, right? As Pyke. Looking for a pickup onto the Sejuani. Sejuani obviously doesn't really care about the slow as well. Azir tower didn't really do a lot, as Azir just used his shuffle right next to Kindred. Kai'Sa going to pick up the Azir as well, and YONE teleported into the backline. Ultimate is going to catch, and that is a fully dead team that I see in... Yep, they're just all dead. I mean, probably Graves... Yeah, there it is. Probably GP is going to get away, actually. As he did flash out, I believe. No? How did he get to the side of the team? But I'm not sure. But very, very solid job Really good flank by YONE, and honestly, that was just such an aggressive fight here. And Azir just made such a big blunder by running in and right next to Kindred using his E to shuffle in there to pick up the wave, right? And you really know these situations where you realize that you made a mistake, but you just focused on like getting the farm, you're thinking about something else because you're not expecting them to just engage on you. And then it ends up happening anyway. And you're sad. Alright, YONE going to pick up even more gold, even more camps, even more gold. This game has been so chaotic. He doesn't even have 10 CS per minute, but still. He is macroing up, right? And he is still quite far ahead, actually, of the Azir as well, when it comes to money. Was not able to stack his Q here. So that makes for a little bit more difficult situation, as we're going to pick up a kill on to the Gangplank here, for sure. Exactly that is happening, but now 50%, below 50% HP, more like 30% HP. Yeah, gotta be very careful. This Divine Sundra Ezreal. Wait. Hold on. Am I tripping? Ezreal had Divine Sundra! This Ezreal had Divine Sundra and then he switches to Triforce. What the actual? Huh. You don't do that. That is wild. Alright, let's jump back a couple of seconds, I guess. To pick up onto the Gangplank here, right? This is where we were. As this Ezreal, weirdly enough, just has Triforce. What the hell? I was about to say, like, Ezreal is going to do a lot of damage to you since he has the Divine Thunder, and then I'm currently quite sick. I have Corona, right? So I'm like, half of the time I'm pretty delusional. And I was like, dude, wait. Was he running Triforce the entire time? And I just thought it was a... No. I didn't. He literally switched his item. Triforce obviously much better damage than Divine Sundra, but... Bit of a radical move, really, to pick up a Triforce. Just sell your Divine Sundra, pick up a Triforce. Alright, another 40 stacks, ladies and gentlemen, and Kai'Sa will finally have her second item complete, because right now, she does not get anything from completing the Tear of the Goddess into the Mana Immune, right? Only once it upgrades to Muramana is where it really starts to give value. So, right now, Kai'Sa is quite far behind. Obviously goes hand in hand with Ezreal just selling his item and thus not being able to pick up Cyrilda's Grudge anytime soon. Obviously, he wouldn't be able to pick it up now, but he would have a Calfield's Warhammer-ish. So, which puts him at 650 gold until he can buy it, so it is rather close. Alright, well, Taliyah is still strong, so we have to fight around her. We have to find an engage angle as Kai'Sa moving in with the YONE together. And if YONE can just create some space for the Kai'Sa, I'm sure she will be able to deal a lot of damage. But no, this is not looking very good. As YONE and Kai'Sa working together in tandem here to threaten the Taliyah. Taliyah kiting backwards, but it is not enough, and very, very solid job. Yeah, the tankiness was really, really required here for the YONE, as YONE now with the Last Whisper and Frozen Gauntlet probably has quite a bit of magic resistance and manages to open up the team fight for his Kai'Sa there. Very well done, and obviously the Kindred ultimate is ridiculously strong in a team fight that ends up working out the way that team fight worked out. Specifically because she was basically solo tanking like 2 people, right? For her entire ultimate duration, allowing YONE and Kai'Sa to get close and create a little bit of a pinch and pinch the enemy team and kill them. So, very good job. Unfortunately, Churchill's old saying of they have us surrounded, good. That means we can shoot into every direction and hit someone. Doesn't seem to be working that well, huh? Now, obviously, if you're being surrounded, that is a huge tactical disadvantage just from the positioning standpoint. You'll see me talk about concaves a lot as well. That is because a concave kind of creates that situation as well, where if you have at the steepest point of the concave, right, if you have something like the AD carry there and then the tank and, you know, some other bruiser are on the flanks, it is very difficult to get to the AD carry, and you will most likely die on your way there, right? And so obviously concaves are absolutely great in League, especially with someone like YONE. He's definitely a champion who loves concaves because his ultimate is much stronger from the side than it is from the front. So he wants to be in the flank a lot. And you'll see these high reload YONE players do exactly that, unless they use their ultimate like this. You know, which happens sometimes. As my voice is going to give out, so excuse me for that, but yeah, I'm still quite sick, so hopefully I can recover quickly and go back to casting. Oh, goodness me, I'm already drinking tea like a madman, but it's just not enough apparently. Alright, I think my voice should be better. So hopefully we can finish this game without any more incidents. So the ultimate, the YONE ultimate comes out there. I don't know if that was necessary, to be honest, but you know, better safe than sorry. As now the red team is so much behind, so much ahead. 5k gold here. And obviously for Azir, this is an absolutely unfortunate situation. YONE is ridiculously strong at this point, has anti-healing, has all the damage that he wants, and it is another pickup onto the 3 and 10 top lane protege. Ay. You don't need any enemies, huh? As Azir ultimate going to come through, but amazingly the YONE Q just carries him through the ultimate again. That is Azir going down to YONE. I think for the first time in a solo kill? I think so, yeah. So Azir definitely didn't do a super poor job here. Fighting the YONE as the ultimate is going to miss. Talia jumps in there, but she trades a kill onto the YONE, which admittedly is worth about 1k gold for a dragon, which now puts them at soul point. The next dragon is going to be deciding here. And also... He's out. He's just out, dude. He's seen enough as... Azir is looking for a kill here. Azir is motivated to pick up a kill onto the... Oh no. So far we haven't gotten one good Azir ultimate that was able to get people out of the Kindred ultimate, but this Azir is looking for blood. Look at how aggressive he is. Does pick up a kill as well, and with a stack Conqueror actually. He's definitely going for a more hands-on build, right? The build that does much more damage if you position yourself well, but also puts much more weight on your shoulders, actually, I wanted to say, but Soldier is actually not that far away from that in this situation as Azir. Obviously, he is built like a tank. He does have a really big back, but a lot of that work. Still carried by his soldiers, not his shoulders. As we are going to be picking up the Scuttle Crab for no apparent reason except that we want money. Which obviously you never can have enough money. Because if we can manage to hit that GA here, that is a really, really good position to be in. Level 17 here, available for the YONE, to level 14 for his top laner. Level 17 also for his jungler, and then you look at the enemy team and just no one is even close. Level 13 on Pike, who's just been part of the Fiesta left, right and center, and this YONE is an absolute unit. And if YONE hits this position in the game, you better be prepared. You better be prepared for an absolute, just at this point, he's also like so tanky as well. So just an absolute unit of a champion running you down, which does really good damage, but even more so than that, it's just super tanky. Just runs you down. GA and a potion have been acquired. YONE is level 18. He is maxed out by any metric that is available here. As my voice is dying. He's just 13, 5 and 5. He is absolutely ridiculously strong. Oh my god, I'm sorry. I'm terribly sorry. Oh my god, my voice. Obviously one of the worst situations to be in as a caster is to lose your voice. But that's fine. Totally fine, Copium. Because we are going to pick up a little bit more farm, push in this wave, and there is about a minute of Baron left. Not a good Azeroth at all here. Could have been much, much better, and YONE is going to take down Azeroth. And that is a wash. A wash? No, that's not a wash. What do you call that? That is whatever. It's an absolute destruction of the blue team here. As the blue team surrenders, just as my throat does the same. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. If you appreciate what I give up for you, then throw me a comment. If you share the video, that is what the algorithm likes the most. And if you like these videos, make sure to ring the bell and subscribe. I will see you guys in the next one. Stay awesome.
Super Idol 的笑容都没你的甜，8月正午的阳光都没你耀眼，热爱105度的你，滴滴青春的蒸馏水。